Yeah, what the boys are doing here now is just putting a bit of an idea of the space that we did have and the view we had more than anything.
Looking back, I've come a long way down the track, got a long way left to go, making songs from what I know.
I lived in that clubhouse for 3 or 4 years. Oh, it was the best time of my life. Like, I mean, fancy having an address that says there.
You and I along the track.
My name's Bob Flynn. I first joined the club in 65, 66 season.
My name's Barry Emerton. I first joined North Caloundra Surf Club in 1964, Christmas holidays.
My name's Phil Moy. I joined the club in 1963 and got my bronze in 1964.
Came up and had a look, and we decided we'd join North Caloundra. And so there on, it was a big cultural change from us, coming from surface paradise to the fibro shack, more or less, at North Caloundra. I've been here for 50 years now, and yeah, so I've had some fun times, some great times in there.
Got a long way left to go.
Yeah, well, I became president in the 70s and remained the president right through to the 80s. During that time, of course, we were able to construct the new clubhouse. That was the era that we moved from the old clubhouse to the new clubhouse.
At the old surf club, the bunks in those rooms were full of people returning to live in Caloundra that weren't married. And it was made for a really interesting time.
We used to have a barbecue every Sunday afternoon, and quite a few of the local people would come down and join us, you know, and there was nothing better on a winter's afternoon looking back across the Moffat headland with the afternoon sun on the white water on the waves. You know, it was you know, I can picture that now, you know. They were great times, you know.
Small number of members, everybody counted on everybody else. We all had to turn up for things. It made it for a very close-knit community, and some of the friendships we made, or all the friendships we made in that time, have lasted over the years.
Like, we used to have 6 o'clock surf races, you know, everybody got up in the club. If you stayed in the club, 6 o'clock surf race, you were down the beach. Except those good Catholic boys who reckon they used to have to go to church.
Then, membership sort of had stagnated. We'll call it. There was no growth within the club.
Well, we needed to attract more members. I mean, you know, 16 and 17 members meant that we couldn't really do patrols efficiently. Well, we could, but we were limited. Everybody had to turn up nearly every weekend, or it didn't work, and it was just too onerous on everybody. I lived in Wynnum, it was 100 miles away. It was exactly 100 miles from my house to the surf club, exactly. And I used to drive them every weekend, you know. I mean, how long can you do that? Now, I did it for 38 years, but that's not the point.
And every meeting we had, somebody would stand up and say, we've got to get some juniors. It was always, we've got to find young people, which was very difficult to do because we're in the transition of moving the club sort of operational from Brisbane, and you could see it moving to more a Caloundra-based thing.
We had fundraising activities there, parties and barbecues and all those sorts of things, but very much in the old traditional style of relied on pub raffles and those sorts of things, and really in a modern society, if you're going to have a successful club, you need to have income streams that far exceed those sorts of activities. But it was good because we were all in it together. Everybody mucked in, everybody participated, and those things made for a very close group of friends.
And then we move on to the period of time, I suppose, with the incidents with the fire.
I was in bed that night and a friend of mine came around who happened to be a girl, and she's trying to wake me up about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm trying to pull her into bed, and she says, no, no, no. She says, the clubhouse is on fire.
So I was around the Dicky Beach caravan park. I was woken up in the early hours of the morning by the police who came round, and they initially said to me, oh, we were up at Moffat Headland and we saw all the lights on down there, thought you were having another party, and then we realised the lights were moving and the clubhouse was on fire.
The inside of the old clubhouse, upstairs and downstairs, was lined with cypress pine, which was varnished. All the walls and the ceilings were lined with this, and so that's why it just went up so fierce, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was pouring, raining cats and dogs, and here's this almighty fire. You know, it's just kept on burning. The flames kept on getting bigger, and
I was living in Caloundra at the time, but being married, I wasn't. I found out about it in the morning.
Because it was a volunteer fire service in those days. By the time the boys got, woke the boys up, they got round here, it was just hosing down the ashes.
Well, what I was probably thinking, I know I was thinking, that it was sort of a disaster area.
the next morning when I was down there and having a look at the site, and a woman came across and said, I've never seen a place burn so quick and so fast in such heavy rain.
Oh, I was devastated, mate. I mean, the old clubhouse with completely built with volunteer labour, all made out of timber. It was really all cypress pine inside. Everything was really nice, but that's probably why it burned so well.
God, what are we going to do now, But we kicked on, lived in the boat shed. The boys lived in the boat shed, come up and done their patrols in the boat shed.
Then, luckily, the boat shed didn't go. You can see in this photo here that that's the boat shed that we operated out of. The main section went down, but this is what we operated out of for the next few years. If that would have gone down too, we'd have been in deep trouble. But yeah, it was a sad thing. We still reminisce about the old place, because a lot of good things happened there.
We stuck that out for about 2 seasons, Yeah.
Then was what we're going to do. Like, what do we do now?
Yeah, I don't think any of the club members entertained the idea that we would simply say, well, that's all over Red Rover. I think we're more determined than ever to build a club. We already had been planning for some time that we might build a new clubhouse and move to a situation that would, for the future. The loss of the clubhouse certainly concentrated our minds on that vision, and we were able to move fairly quickly on it because we were, I guess, in a way prepared for it.
Nobody said, oh, I'm going. I'm not, we all stuck together, pulled together, done our patrols, tough times, very, very tough times in the club, but they're the sort of people that, got us to where we are today, without a doubt.
And I remember Bob Flynn and I patrolling 2 full days in a row, all day, because we had nobody to replace us. So there was a period of time when that happened, but also we were lucky to have people that were a bit more entrepreneurial, I suppose, who were always on the go trying to raise funds for us.
But looking forward, we could see nothing but positives in it. This was a chance, a once in a generational chance to move forward with a new clubhouse and a new endeavour and a new determination to make things better than they were.
And then, because Phil and the crew worked very hard to get established with the council to find us another block of land, because we weren't going to let us back to the prime block of land we had down there. And we eventually got to the point where we started the construction of the building that we're sitting in now.
The drive for the new clubhouse came from all the members. That we had a very active management committee. As the president, I was able to help with the guidance of all that. But I mean, there were many very astute people in the club of various trades and industries and business backgrounds. The fact that we had an inkling of what we wanted in the thing, we were able to very quickly formulate a vision of the club, and the design of the clubhouse was very much future-based. It was designed to take 3 stories. It was expandable. It had great foundations, and the first level was just all Besser block with a concrete roof. The concrete roof was the actual floor of the second layer. So we were building something that was definitely for the future and for the long term.
Yeah, good on you.
Take me here. It's a vision, really, isn't it? It's a dream come true. It's the whole basis of our vision was to have something like this, and it really is a credit to all the members that have built this over the years. It's absolutely outstanding. So this is really the section that we first built, the dormitory section that contained our initial bar and fundraising area. The entry here was always designed to be separate from the supporters club entry, so that it would comply with all the licensing requirements. And yeah, you can see the rail there. That was the original the ceiling of the first floor and the floor of the second level, but the gear shed only came across to the 2 roller doors. The additional building, the red section there and that section, that was all added later. That was added to the foundations that were available, and the design allowed the increase to the height and the structure without additional underpinning or anything like that. A lot of money put into the foundations so things were built for the future.
Looking forward, looking back, I've come a long way down the track.
Well, I think the era of the 70s, the overriding remember that I have of it was just the great times we had. I mean, we were seriously involved in surf life saving and every aspect of it. There were enormous changes going on. And on the background of this is Caloundra went from a sleepy fishing village to a real holiday destination, starting to feed off those people that didn't want to go to the Gold Coast came to the Sunshine Coast. And we very quickly became a small country town rather than just a sleepy little fishing village. And
Okay, well the 70s was the Reformation, I suppose. The strength that we sort of showed getting to the point of constructing this new surf club building gave us the impetus to start doing something about putting people in it, which we did.
Looking forward, looking back, I've come along.
Quite a few of the old guys have passed away in the last few years. And down at the old surf club site, there's a wall down there with memorial plaques. Yeah, they're all from that era.
when we get a few of them together, we have an Ashes presentation there at the front here.
Yeah, well, the old clubhouse side is very emotional. I mean, I find it that it is, because simply it's a place where you can actually sit and remember all the good times, and there are people there, their plaques are on the wall.
I noticed when we were down there today with you, I looked, and you have a thought about every one of them, you know.
People that make the club, it's just whether the club's here or there, it really doesn't matter, but it's the group of people that you're emotionally attached to.
Looking back, I've come a long way down the track. Got a long way left to go, making songs from what I know, making songs from what I know, looking forward, looking back.
Once a jolly surfer camped by Dicky Beach under the shade of a pandanus tree, and he sang as he watched and waited for the surf to rise. You'll come a surfing safari with me.